Hey guys, this is my instant reaction. Arsenal won, Norwich nil. So I think it was a tough game. I definitely, at the end of a match where you kind of struggled and then you end up pulling it out, I think sometimes the relief of getting the points can overshadow a performance or some glaring, issues. So I'm here to make sure that the issues are still addressed. Um, just to start out, what I do want to say is that at the end of the day, this team needs to be able to dig deep and get results. And so I'm not trying to take away anything from us being able to get those 3 points and ultimately score our first goal in the Premier League. So good job, to us for that. What I will say is up until the point that we scored the goal, I just feel like the balance up top and in the midfield was not right. When you have players like Ainsley Maitland-Niles and Pepe in your team, the technical quality drops massively. Pepe is one of those players that needs to have space in behind and run onto the ball. Ainsley is not the type of midfielder that can play at this level in the Premier League. So we basically had two players out there that once the initial, energy and excitement of being at the Emirates and all of that kind of wore down and we didn't score a goal initially, you started to see those deficiencies kind of creep up. And I thought Pepe and Ainsley Maitland-Niles really struggled in that first half, really, until Thomas Partey came in. I think they really, really struggled. And so it's just the way that Arteta wants to play. These really intricate little balls in between the lines and a lot of tippy tappy. Like, you have to have all technical players throughout your entire team. And we just don't have that. So I think we really suffered with Ainsley in midfield and Pepe on the right hand side before Thomas Partey and ESR came in. And inevitably that ended up hurting Bukayo Saka, it hurt Lokonga, and it definitely hurt Aubameyang. I think in particular, I think Lokonga got the short end of the stick. He came out, and I think it should have been Ainsley Maitland-Niles that came out first, but he ended up going into right back and then inevitably coming off due to injury or a cramp or whatever. So, but I think Lokonga was doing very well in the midfield despite having a partner that just was almost trying to do the exact same thing as him. And so Lokonga was kind of trying to receive the ball off of the back line, make sure that he's defensively sound, play balls in between the lines. Like, he was trying to do everything, but he didn't have that partner to help him. And he's not quite at Thomas Partey's level where Thomas can kind of manage a midfield on his own. I thought Ainsley really, really struggled. And I think we can kind of maybe put the Ainsley Maitland-Niles in midfield to rest for a little bit. It just doesn't really work. Pepe, I love him. His touch was horrendous. And what happens is that because Odegaard is the type of player that kind of needs connectors around him, having Pepe and Aubameyang next to him on that side, or really just Pepe on that side, doesn't give him the ability to play little 1-2s with players. You saw once ESR came on, the connectivity between Bukayo Saka and Odegaard and ESR became so much better. So we're kind of in that place where I think a lot of players are going to suffer. We played against Norwich at home. That's as easy as a competition as you're going to get. And we really struggled without key players, and we really shouldn't be. So the effect that not having Thomas Partey and ESR in our team, the effect that it has on Lokonga, the effect that it has on Bukayo Saka and Aubameyang, really important players in our team, you're kind of looking at this like, okay, do we have the depth that we think that we have? We actually don't. ESR has to play. We don't have another player with his footballing IQ and his directness and his technical quality to play with Bukayo and take away some of the build-up parts of our game for Aubameyang. And then if you bring in Lacazette, you suffer as well. So up top and in the midfield, you can kind of just see those puzzle pieces aren't really coming together. And until we kind of put all of our best players out there on the pitch, we didn't really see it come together, but we shouldn't have to do that against Norwich. You know what I mean? So you just kind of see those little flaws. You really, really do. And it's a lot of it has to do with the way that we want to play. The way that we want to play, you have to have ESR and Thomas Partey out there on the pitch. You have to have a lot of technical quality to compensate for, your Pepe's, and Aubameyangs. And then, yeah, once we got those players on the pitch, Thomas Partey in particular, even I will say ESR, because what he was doing was, really helped. Odegaard doesn't have that type of quality. He doesn't have the quality to take the ball, spin, run, and drive up the pitch. That's not really his game. So having ESR there and Saka in between the lines, driving the ball forward, made us so much more dangerous, and then gave us the freedom to use Pepe as a finisher. And that's really what Pepe is. He's a finisher. You have to have Saka, ESR, and Pepe and Aubameyang all out there at once. But then how do you play with Odegaard too? Because Odegaard has to be on the pitch. So then we're looking at our double pivot like, okay, who's going to come out? So all of those pieces don't fit. So we're looking at a team where there's still some missing pieces and some pieces that don't go together. One thing I do want to say is that Aubameyang worked really hard today. And that's what I've been looking from him, is when things aren't going right, just at least still do your job and press and play hard. And that's something that he should be doing, but I just thought that he deserved the goal, and he really just deserves some flowers, because the way that he played today, I thought was really, really good, despite, kind of the environment that he was in. Should this save Arteta? Probably not. I still don't think that this is good enough. I do think this team lacks the ability to create clear-cut chances, and that scares me. But ultimately, we got the win. We got a goal under our belt, and now we go to Burnley, a much tougher opposition away from home, and we'll see if we're able to, do better. Tomiyasu, great debut. Another one that got the short end of the stick towards the end of the game, because we had to move him out and put Ainsley Maitland-Niles in the back four. Ben White, Gabriel, very, very good, very solid. Ramsdale, very vocal leader in the back. And I think that back five really works. They just need to play with each other a lot more. But we need to look at the front end of that pitch, in January and in the summer, because we just don't have the right pieces to put together to get the most out of that group. But you got to just take the win when you could get it. But there's still a lot of questions there for me. And yeah, we roll on to the next week. So my name is Jessica. You can follow me on Twitter at @itsjessinho, and I'll see you guys in the next one.